Bees are one of the important pollinators for flowering, fruiting, plant trees, and crops. And if you help them, they will help your garden in return with abundant harvest. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I share to you on how to attract bees in your garden. So let's get started. For the first one is grow varieties of flowers in your garden. Flowers are main food source of bees, and planting different kinds of flowers for each season will attract different kinds of bees as well. There are about 20,000 bees or types of bees in the world, and by providing them with a diversity of flowers in your garden will always be a great welcome for them. So the more variety of plants and flowers you have, the more bees will visit you. Honeybees help your garden by pollinating the flowers for you and helping your garden have more abundant harvest. And by transferring pollen from plant to plant and carrying the pollen they collected and back into their hives. And in return, they give you honey as well and as their food. So bee-friendly plants like cosmos, zinnias, sunflowers, black hyacinths, and many more are a magnet to bees. You can also mix or plant a small wildflower garden for bees as well. And by trying to mimic their habitat and food source from the wild or meadow, you can invite bees into your garden. And bees' favorites color of flowers are purple, violets, blue, and white. And by combining wildflowers in your garden, you can create an environment that will truly attract pollinators. Not only bees, but many different kinds of insects as well. So it's really a win-win for you and your garden and the bees as well. From my experience, I tried planting wild tomatoes, wildflowers as well. And if you have a small garden, you don't have space for a wildflower garden, for example, you could always plant them in pots or containers or even in hanging baskets. They are really great, attractive flowering plants and crop for the bees. For the next one, for number 2 is create a bee hotel or bee box. Honeybees stay in their hives over winter and rely on their honey reserve to survive. So you can create a bee hotel or an insect hotel that will really greatly benefit bees, especially solitary bees. And if you ever wonder how to make your bee hotel, there's a very easy way to do it. You can recycle metal containers. I use tomato cans, and if you have any tomato cans or even pots, and you can fill it up with small rolls of paper, cardboard boxes, twigs, dried flowers, and you can let your creativity flows. And if you want more detail, I'll link the link below. You can check it out later. How to create a bee hotel or a bee box. It is really very nice because during winter or hurricane season, and even some bees that don't travel a long distance, they just wanted to stay nearby their hive. You can also use this as a safe place for predators for bees, temporary shelter, or an evacuation for them in case of bad weather. You can hang them around or put it in a place where it will not be soaked up by the rain. So this is really very nice, very easy DIY bee hotel. You can recycle any containers, plastic, metals, or even wood, drill holes in it and different sizes, and it will be really very beneficial for bees and other insects as well. Now let's go to the number 3, which is use organic or no pesticide in your garden. Pesticides and insecticides, special chemicals that are harmful for pollinators and beneficial insects. If you're using pesticides, you are not really welcoming your bees in your garden because they may release toxic into your plants, into the wildlife as well. I highly recommend to use organic way. to deter pests, and you can practice companion planting or even plant flowers that deter or minimize the population of the insect or invite predatory insects in your garden. I do use alyssum flowers and marigolds. I plant them around, and lemongrass, and it is really very effective. I have not used any chemicals at all or pesticide, and tried to mimic nature, and it is really very good for the environment as well. And bees are really very helpful and valuable insect in the garden, and by treating them with love and care, and you will be surprised by how important these little creatures in the garden. So I encourage you to stop using chemicals and toxic pesticides in your garden, because it has a negative impact to your pollinators, the wildlife, and the entire ecosystem as well. And for bees, these toxic chemicals make them sick, and it can lessen their population as well. And for the first one is give them a drink. Yes, provide some water for your lovely bees. I highly recommend to use shallow plates if you have, or containers. And bees get thirsty as well, especially all this buzzing from flower to flower. They can get tired as well. So mostly they get some water from plant leaves and after the rain. So during hot season or summer, you will notice there are bees that tend to rest on the top of the leaves while they're on top of the flowers. And you can offer them flat dish like used for the bird bath, and not so deep like shell, to the areas that are visible and easy access. And giving them or providing them with water is really very helpful for your pollinator. So not only bees, butterflies, and other insects benefits from the shallow dish of water. So just make sure it's not large enough or deep enough for them to drown. So you could always change the water every now and then to avoid mosquitoes. And for the number 5, it's okay to have weeds. Yes, bees love weeds actually, because most of the bees, they do make their homes under the ground or under the leaves. It's scattered litter of dried leaves. So it's okay if you leave some part of your garden that are a little messy or have tall grass in it. If you want a little bit fancy grass, you can buy lemongrass if you like, but not necessary. And I highly recommend to leave some areas that has tall grass or undisturbed, or even pile of woods if you have, that really could attract beneficial insects, and they feel at home as well, just like in the woods. So there you go, friends. That's how to attract bees in your garden in 5 ways. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. And if you want to watch more videos, I have a whole playlist there for you. You can check it out or watch the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!